Whoosh.
Hello and welcome to World of Tanks. I'm CabbageMechanic and with me
You're
as always.
very bright.
And I'm bright today.
Yeah, look at your
I'm
not actually orange.
I don't know what's causing it, but here we are. Hope all of you are well. Sorry for missing last Thursday. We were, of course, heading to Toronto for a Keynote Tank weekend. It was awesome. Did you have a good time?
I rode 2 tanks.
Not
I had an
tank,
amazing time.
but 2 tanks.
2 tanks.
Thank you to all of you who came out. We really appreciate it. Hope you had a good time. We really did, and we're going to have some awesome video content. Michael and Steven came out with us, got a bunch of tank rides. Klaus Kellerman was there.
I hung out with Klaus for a good couple hours. Actually, I'm a little sunburned. I don't think you can really tell with the camera, but I got sunburned on my nose and on my face and my ear a little bit.
So we had a great time. We're going to have a ton of videos coming out in the near future on our World of Tanks North America YouTube channel, covering what we saw and experienced and got to ride while we were there. So we'll let you know when those come out. We do have some exciting news today. The World of Tanks 1.5.1 patch will be arriving in the early morning hours this evening. We're going to go over the features of that, talk to you about what's coming out. We're going to be finalizing those German and Japanese medium buffs that we've been talking with you guys out for a couple of months now. Those are going to be going into the game, going to live server, and we have a couple other cool features that are going to be going live. So
yeah. So essentially, did you already say
1.5.1
does come out tomorrow? So that's going to be going live. We're going to be talking about some of the things that are in that patch, including things like Kharkov and the medium retank balance. The medium tank rebalance.
Do you guys like medium retanks?
Yes, I love
do. They're my favorite class.
We also have crew training books, aka crew prints, as our stream has kind of dubbed them.
Yes,
so.
yes.
But otherwise, I believe we're going to be getting into looking at your screen.
Yeah, is it? Are you on me?
I'm ready for you to do the thing.
Okay, do it.
All right, so
we're gonna pull up the EU article. This article will be up on NA shortly. It's not up quite yet because our patch is going to be coming a little later, but we're going to cheat and check out the EU article. As we mentioned, the medium tank rebalance is coming in. There's a nice video here, by the way, if you want to watch that, our official core video. So the STB1 and the Leopard 1 are going to be getting some significant buffs. So far, they look pretty good. The Leopard is still going to be, kind of a fragile mobile sniper tank. It's not going to be ideal in city maps. You're going to have to play really carefully on those ones, but that higher alpha damage and shell velocity is going to help out a lot with sniping, along with the accuracy. And the STB1 is getting the cool new hydropneumatic suspension that the Swedium's got, and should be a little better. It'll have a role now as a close-up, what's the appropriate term, hill harasser. Should be a good time. You're going to have a tougher turret. The gun's a little less accurate, but it's going to be. You're really supposed to be up close with the STB1, harassing the near flanks or from the hillsides on enemy tanks. And as a part of that, we also changed a bunch of the vehicles going down from tier 9, tier 8 in those lines. And some of the relevant premiums as well. The Panzer 58 Mutts and the STA2 are also getting some love. So if you own any of those tanks, wait for the patch tomorrow. Go play them. Let us know what you think about the buffs. I think we feel pretty good about them so far, so we'll see how that goes. We do also have the session stat feature coming out. We're having a little bit of a problem with session stats right now. It might not work right when the patch goes live.
Yeah.
They're having some issues with it right now, but they think it should be turned around within a few days here at the absolute most. Those of you who use session stat mods will be immediately familiar with the concept of this. It's basically going to collate all your stats for your login session and let you know how you did during that play session throughout the whole. We've talked to you guys about crew books, which we're calling crew prints. Crew prints.
See, it's really hard to say. Crew prints. Blueprints.
So a bunch of different ways to train your crew faster. These are all going to have specific articles you guys can click through and read. We won't get too bogged down in details. And of course, the reworked Kharkov, which I'm really excited about. It looks really good. They really reduced that massive circular part of the city in the middle and gave you more room in the field. So it's going to be a little more of a balanced map, not quite as city dominant. It's a little bit bigger, I believe, and I think it's going to be way better.
Yeah. So Randall Green says, reading is hard. Thanks for reading this to us.
Sorry.
Surprisingly enough, you'd be you'd be surprised at how many people don't actually read the articles, so...
Ruben said, "Do you guys know the reasoning behind the Leo 1 losing 100 HP?" I would say that the trade is for the gun. The gun is getting a buff in terms of accuracy and alpha damage and velocity. So you're trading some defense for more offense.
Yeah, hopefully you won't be needing that extra XP or that extra HP essentially because you're going to be somewhat removed from the battle because of the fact that it is kind of a mid to long range sniper. You're gonna not want to be up front, and so you know, being in the fray isn't going to be what you want to be doing. So you don't need to trade your hit points.
Did he just say crew pimps?
Crew pimps. Crew prints.
We don't have the new patch in America. It will be coming out sometime in the wee hours of the morning tonight.
Yeah.
A couple other things buried in the patch notes that you guys might want to know. 2 new vehicles are being added to the live client for future inclusion. We don't have a release date on these. Why are you ducking?
I'm ducking because you can't 100% see. Wait.
The stats aren't that important. These are definitely subject to change. This is the version that was originally posted in the super test. I'm not even sure if it's current now.
That's as good as I could get it.
But big note here, this is going to be the first tier 8 British light tank, so you can take a look at that guy, see what you think. So the FV 1066 Senlac, some pretty good gun elevation here, right?
Awful name.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Brits for you. They like to put FE in numbers after it, and that's how they name stuff.
That's fair.
And the other one is the Tier 8 German heavy with the rear-mounted turret premium that will also be coming up in the near to mid-future. Again, guys, we don't have release dates for these tanks yet, but just so you're aware, they are on the horizon. They are in the patch notes. Check them out, and if you play those lines, or if you're interested in the British light line, or you play the German rear turret heavy line, be some vehicles to watch out for. So let me switch back to your screen.
Yeah.
And we will play a few games for you guys. I think we are going to have a shortened stream today, guys. We just got off the plane yesterday. We're still a little tired. Especially because of our 3-hour delay in Houston yesterday.
Oh my goodness. That was not the most fun.
No, not the most fun we had. Let's pop into chat, see what's going on there.
Let's see. Hey, Tragic, what tank did you go for with your tank ride on the weekend? So I rode the M4 Sherman, and I also rode the Leopard. So that was the Canadian Leopard.
Yeah, man. And I think that was an Easy 8 Sherman, right?
Yeah, nice. It was nice. Will Wargaming ever put the Sturm Tiger in World of Tanks? Honestly, I could see it happening. We don't know for sure. Massive Alpha is
really hard to balance, guys.
Yeah.
That's, so it's hard. I don't want to say no, but we've looked at doing it and decided not to. Before, so that could change in the future, but for right now it's a no.
So Ruben Contreras says, on the Sandbox, damage has gone up massively, and it happened to artillery too, so doesn't that defeat the purpose of the arty nerf? Well, you also have essentially increased most of the HP on tiers 1 through even 10. And like 1 is doubled essentially plus some, and then as you go up through the tiers it kind of scales downwards as to how much HP you've gotten, but there is more HP on the Sandbox server, so.
Yep. And don't get too bogged down on the specific numbers, guys. The first iteration of the Sandbox just ended. We're going to have another iteration soon.
Yeah.
That version, the new iteration, will have changes. We can't talk about what they are yet, but they'll be available to see in the near future. We really are trying out some broad concepts of changes in the Sandbox. Nothing there is static or guaranteed to exist as it is now in the future. In fact, it's really unlikely that it is.
Let's see. Didn't see either of you fixing the track on that tank in Canada. Did see the Chieftain and Sophie. Were you slacking?
We were actually standing I was standing right behind Sophie while she was streaming it. And I was slacking. I was just watching. So
essentially that was at about 4 to 5 o'clock, which was Sunday, after the end of Aquino Tank Fest, and so most people were making their way out of the area. We were packing up at some point, and then Chieftain came. I think Chieftain left that area, but no, we weren't slacking. Mostly. We were getting all of our ducks in a row for the trip back home. So.
I mean, I was definitely slacking, but they had 4 guys working on the track at once, and I would have no idea what I would be doing there. So definitely would have been too many cooks in the kitchen on that one.
I'm new recently back into the game. It seems like side scraping has become harder. Did I just lose my skills, or did something change in the last year that I don't know about? I mean, it really depends on what
changes
tank that you're using.
Happen. Yeah, so it might depend on the specific vehicle. Skylar says Cabbage didn't have his repair kit. I did actually pitch pushing 5 to them, but they did not find that amusing.
Yeah.
Turns out it's actually pretty hard to fix a tank's tracks in real life. You can't just push a button and make it happen. There was a question here from
someone's saying I'm louder than Twitch. You. It's probably because I talk louder than Cabbage does.
I don't know if that's true.
I think it is true.
What's the reason for buffing everything else instead of just nerfing premium rounds? It's because we want to make larger changes to the game. The HP changes that we are talking about on the Super Test server is something that has been discussed internally for a while, and that's one of the reasons we're giving it a test now. Definitely, especially at lower tiers, increasing that time to kill has been the subject of discussion for a long time, and then in general, that's just something that has been discussed. So, and again, don't get too bogged down in the specific numbers. Very good chance that those are going to change in the future. So I think we'll see what the next Sandbox iteration looks like, and we can talk about it then. We can't. We don't even know what the next Sandbox is going to look like yet. So
yeah, I'm slowly moving the mic closer to you because I'm still louder than you are. Like I'm talking at a normal
Aaron
level.
says it is true. Tragic is much louder in real life.
I can project better than he can. Anyways, I'm waiting for you to ready up the tank.
Nathan says, when is the update releasing?
Tomorrow.
It'll be the wee hours of the morning tonight, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, the other thing is like higher pitched noises, higher pitched sounds you can actually hear better regardless. So I'm going to try and speak softly.
I don't know what I want to play.
Tier 10.
I know. I don't know what I want to play.
American.
I've been playing the American.
British.
I've been playing the British.
I'm
gonna play. We're gonna give one last hurrah to the old STB one.
Ooh.
There we go.
All right, so let's do a count in. All right, ready? 3, 2.
Tier 10 count in.
1, go.
You have the battle button.
Oh, I do have the battle button. Oh no. All right. Well, next round I'll give you
close.
commander.
Hello, it is I, the only guy who only asks long and awkward questions about the Leopard 1. All right.
All tanks should be changed in the future? Question mark. FE215 B183 get more damage too. So Marines, we have a Sandbox server, and essentially the Sandbox server, we've doubled. We essentially higher tiers have gotten more HP, but not a whole lot. And then lower tiers, like tier 1, have essentially more than doubled their HP.
And again, none of those are. Those
it's
are all
not
just
final
Sandbox
at all.
random.
It's
yeah,
just
not
literally playing around.
Yeah, don't get bogged down on those numbers, guys. They're going to change.
We're throwing spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks.
And I believe that the current Sandbox has ended, so those aren't even relevant at the current moment.
Yeah.
John Ross says, you both sound the same to me, but I'm listening on my phone while driving and having my daughter type. Well, hello, John and daughter. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day.
Drive safe. Make sure you pay attention to the road.
Don't
or we'll scold you.
The good news is we don't have any gameplay worth watching. So it's probably safe to just listen while you drive. That's fine.
Yep.
Let's see.
Hi from
NSX says hi from the other team.
Oh no.
My sound settings got all screwed up.
Your sound's all screwed up?
Yeah, that's
what have you done?
I didn't do anything.
You have done
I was in Canada. How could I have done anything?
You did everything. You did all of the things.
I don't think that's true.
Why did the Sandbox not load for me yesterday? I'm on NA server because it was down.
Yeah, I think it got taken down. It probably was taken down before when you were trying to get on it. It went down yesterday.
Yeah.
There will be another iteration of the Sandbox coming in the near future. So
I approve of the HP buff. I can actually use the word tank for lower tiers instead of paper.
Paper, yeah.
So, like, my personal opinion, I would love to just have the HP buff for all lower tiers and then do something else for, the higher tiers. Because, like, the time to kill for lower tiers has definitely improved, especially with within the Sandbox server. I was playing games for twice as long in lower tiers, so. Can you all make a recommendation to the folks on YouTube and Facebook that they should watch on Twitch, as it's easier to work with?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's their decision.
Yeah, we want to be on all the platforms.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna. Just one of the reasons we do broadcast all three is because we're currently able to, and we want to reach everybody where they're comfortable. But yeah, Twitch is the most developed in terms of live streaming. That is true. Roro says, I really like this update. I think Wargaming should focus on arty and tanks that are breaking the meta like the 430. Yep, I hear you on that. 430 changes are on the table.
Foster.
Cody says, any news on if they plan on bringing how pinging the minimap and frontline works to standard battles?
I would love that.
I've heard it discussed. No update on when that could possibly come to random battles.
Are we able to get rewards for ranked seasons yet? Not yet. We're still working on it. It takes a little while to figure out a good system to make sure people...
It's taking longer than we'd like, but it's being worked on every day. Right now, the regional product directors for NA, APAC, and the HQ team are discussing that on a daily basis. There's been a little push and pull, a little bit of, hey, we'd like this, hey, we want to do this, hey, we can do this. A little bit of negotiation, but we're out there trying to make sure that you guys get a proper chance to earn all of the rewards from ranked this season. Wow, okay, oh, it was a TVP. NSX with a fully loaded TVP clip just saved just for me.
Ow.
Carpenter says Cabbage is going to die first, and I did.
Yep. Is it surprising though? No.
Well, it is because I got clipped by the TVP while you were left alone. That was Cody Mins. Okay. Michael on YouTube says, I also recently returned to the game after a long break. It has been painful adjusting to the new meta. The value of armor has definitely decreased, and old tanks are badly power creep use. That is one of the reasons we're going through and buffing some of those older lines. We will be continuing to do that in the future. Swiftwolf on Twitch says, Cabbage, I feel like the meta of the game is focused on mobility and not really armor. I would like to see the game go to armor focused in a game on armored vehicles. Well, it's an interesting discussion. I think that's true to an extent, and you're definitely for the fact that vehicles like the Object 277 and the 5A are meta, and that has to do with having a mix of their high mobility, but they can still bounce some shots. Historically, not that we're a historical simulator, but historically, gun performance usually outperformed armor development. Like gun development outdid armor development almost entirely. That's why tanks like the Swedish S-Tank and the German Leopard were built the way they were, to be powerful and hold down positions, but not really with really heavily armored hulls, because most tank battles in history have been decided by who fired first and not by who had better armor. It's a mix. You obviously want different classes to be able to perform different roles, so heavy tanks should be able to bounce shots. But I think mobility and getting the first shot and spotting are really should be the core elements of a game about armored vehicles, because that's what it is in real life. Again, not a simulator, but we try and replicate.
Why does my screen look different? What do you mean?
I don't know, but it's your cam. I'm highlighted. Roger says, why are you laughing at me? I don't think we are. Or in Twitch says, Cabbage, 2 questions. Status on reward tank reveal for frontlines, and 2, any update on the second frontline map. We did just drop if you didn't see it, or we did drop a super test leak of the second frontline map. It came out on social media a little bit ago. I'll pull it up on my screen now while Tragic finishes out that game, and we can take a look at it on stream here with you. As far as the reward vehicle for a frontline, nope, still unable to discuss that at all.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Why can't we get the M110 US SPG as a tier 8 premium? Currently we're not really adding any premium SPGs. I believe the last one that we had was the Sexton, because the left came out before that, I believe. Any ideas on how they will change the E100? It was my first tier 10, and it seems the tank feels already balanced in its current state. I think one of the biggest things about the E100 is generally people who are a little bit better at the game will find that using the E100 is very comfortable, but in terms of playing the tank as, let's say, a newer player isn't as comfortable. And so good players can do really well with it, but a lot of players can't really work with the tank, if that makes sense.
So I'm going to pop over to my screen and then let's watch this. So for those of you who have been eagerly awaiting, you can find this on our YouTube channel, World of Tanks North America, where we have a preview here of the second frontline map. As you can see, it's got a winter theme. We have some Cold War era helicopters flying overhead. And we should have a look at the mini-map here before the end. But you got a nuclear plant here in the background. Some big, massive Eastern European agricultural equipment here. Very cool stuff.
JD Not No Cal says, a newer player has no business in an E100, and that's the biggest problem with the game. Honestly, like, regardless if you have 50,000 games or 5,000 games, like, I think we should let people play what they want to play. Like, restricting players as to what tier they can play, I feel like, would be a massive pitfall if we introduce that into the game. So, I don't think that's really... I mean, it's a valid opinion, but I don't think it would be great for the game.
I'm here watching in 480p, guys. Sorry.
Oh my god. What is your personal favorite Tier 8 heavy tank? IS-3?
Tier 8 heavy?
Yeah.
I'm really digging the email one right now. To post changes, I really like having that quick reload. It's nice. Swiftwolf says, Cabbage, do you know if Wargaming is working on better experience payouts towards the different classes, like lights getting more out of spotting, etc., etc.?
I mean, they have that in ranked, although we don't have ranked on NA. But essentially, you get roll XP, and that essentially would tie into you getting higher on the scoreboard. So,
yeah. Axel said, how is Canada? Did you guys try poutine, and did you send pics to Meathead? Did try poutine, did not send pics to Meathead of that.
You did post it to Twitter, though.
I did post it to Twitter. That's true.
So. Any hints at the ranked replacement event for NA?
We just talked about that.
Yeah.
It's something that's still being discussed, and we hope to have news to share soon.
Yeah.
It's something that we're working on daily right
Brendan
now.
Dance says, was nice meeting both of you at the Ontario Regiment Museum. Well, thank you.
Hey, thanks for coming out, Brendan.
You as well.
Hope you had a good time. We sure did.
What's up with Matchmaker? For the past month, I get bad teams and my win rate has gone down badly. Nothing has changed with Matchmaker. The only change we made recently was making sure that we have more formats for Matchmaker to use, and so Matchmaker has actually expanded on what kind of matches it makes. Otherwise, nothing has changed.
So we got a lot of changes in level here. Bunch of forests on one side, couple mountains. There's going to be a huge variety of terrain on this new frontline map. I'm pretty excited. It looks pretty cool. We will see how it gets deployed. I'm not sure if it's going to be, if the episodes will be individual to a map, or if during an episode you'll have a chance of getting either or. I think that's probably the best way to reduce fatigue. But we'll see how that goes.
JD Not No Cal says Cabbage's head is getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. And then Panzer X says, are Italian TDs coming to World of Tanks? In general, I believe the devs like to add new tank lines to World of Tanks, so you can kind of presume that there is a possibility in the future that the tank line that you're thinking of will come to the game, but we don't have any information on anything past the British light tanks, which we have talked about in the past, so...
They're typing here. So if you guys go to our forums, the worldoftanks.com, or it's forums.worldoftanks.com, we have the Wargaming community feedback request, which is where we post updates on current development from World of Tanks. We have some cool concept art for the new map here that Crazy Boop posted a few days ago. By the way, shout out to Crazy Boop. He's modding chat right now. Hopefully getting you guys some links to this stuff. And here you can see, take a look at the mini map. You'll have your 3 lanes here, A, B, C, etc., etc., etc. So
Also, guys, so this is something that popped up on Reddit not too long ago. I don't know if you've seen it, Cabbage, but Watt Inspector very recently...
Oh, the new heat maps?
Yeah, very
cool.
recently introduced this, which is heat maps. I will post the link. Unfortunately, I didn't provide the link to Crazy Boop, but I will post it for you guys. Essentially, if you go to wattinspector.com/en/heat maps, you can actually click on any of these maps. Let's click on Lakeville, and you can actually see where people tend to go. So this is spawn A versus spawn B, and this is kind of the pathways that people take. You can also look at experience. So people who have 0 to 600 XP, you can kind of see where they go. 600 XP, you can kind of see where they go. And then 1200 plus, you can kind of look in different areas. You can also look at tracers. So if you look at tracers, you can see where the most popular places for shooting are. You can also find new pathways as to where you can shoot across the map from. So if you're looking over here, you'll see that a lot of people tend to shoot this way and a lot of people tend to shoot back down this way. You can also get some crossfire going on. So I feel like this is a really amazing I guess, resource for you guys. You can also
look at light. It's a good tool to learn the maps if you're maybe an early to mid-level player.
Did you kick something? Think you should... Wait. Do it again? Like poke it... Oh, God! Well, that did the complete opposite.
I did what I was told. And I kicked the monitor cord again.
Anyways...
And now it works great.
Yeah, awesome.
See, if you kick something enough times, you can fix it. That's what we've learned here today.
You guys can kind of see, like, even TDs, they kind of go dead center. They kind of camp out in specific areas. SPGs, you can also see light tanks kind of go into this middle area. And there's a good mess of different tanks that go over here. But no, I think you guys should all definitely check this out. I think it's amazing. It's absolutely a great resource for you guys.
So yeah, definitely check that out. Mustang asked if we had a good time in Oshawa. We definitely did. It was great. Badger says hello. Monty popped up and called the maps Tripadelic. How's it going, Monty? Hope you're well.
I think I think these are like really cool. So you can even look at things like province, the class movements and tracers. You can see all of the like crossfire that you get.
Of course, Province.
Oh my goodness.
Province just has a hot nest of the two valleys shooting at each other. That's
yeah,
fun.
And you can kind of see like even here and lots of stuff there. We can even look at Prokhorovka, Kampanovka.
Yep. We did meet Klaus. Frontline will be at tier 8 at least for the rest of the season, but we could try different tiers in the future.
Oh man.
Just answering some questions that are popping up chat on YouTube and such here.
Fisherman's Bay.
DadOps says it was great to meet you both at Aquino Tank Weekend. It was great to meet you guys. DadOps and his son won the Battle Royale competition and got to actually command one of the tanks in the Battle Royale. That's awesome. That was the Battle Royale that actually happened because the Leopard didn't get tracked. The Leopard didn't track itself during their battle, I think, right?
Tier 8. I'm going to play the King Tiger, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, that's cool.
All right, tier 7, get ready.
So we're going to be counting in at tier 7?
Yes. All right, and I did give you Platoon Commander, so 3, 2, 1, go. Thank you so much to World of Tanks for the tickets. Absolutely, DadOps. We're really glad that you made it out there.
Yep. If you couldn't make it, James on Twitch says he sadly couldn't make it. If you are in the Ontario area and you couldn't make it to Tank Fest or Tank Weekend, or even if you did, they are going to have Tank Weekends running the rest of the summer season. So go check their schedule. I believe it's tankmuseum.ca is their website.
Yeah.
And they're going to have tank events running the rest of the summer. So you can get out there another weekend. If you haven't been, you have to go. If you have been, go again. There's more to see, I promise.
Wrecker says, I wasn't able to go to Oshawa event, but can you guys say it was great to meet me regardless?
Yeah.
It was great to meet you, Wrecker.
Wrecker actually changed my life.
He's amazing.
A whole new
incredible.
Perspective on life after meeting Wrecker.
Like, honestly, I had a revelation when I met Wrecker. He was incredible.
Yeah.
Any updates on the Bond store? I don't believe we have any currently for you guys. We are still
We'll let you know
waiting.
when we do.
Yeah, we are still waiting for the tanks to arrive in the Bond shop. If you guys don't know what the Bond shop is, it is in-game. It just doesn't currently have tanks in it. So if you go to your garage and you click on store, you can actually scroll down and you can find all of the things that you can purchase from Bonds in there. Unfortunately, tanks are not in that.
Crazy Boop is volunteering to do an arty stream for the guy who asked. Maybe we'll set that up. Dad Ops asked if this was the same flannel shirt. It's not. I don't think it's flannel. Oh, actually, this one is. I have about 3 of this shirt. So it is the same shirt, but a different specific shirt, if that makes sense. Same brand, same size, same pattern, different. I try to dress very simply. I do that uniform Steve Jobs life just because I'm lazy. So I have like 4 pairs of the same shorts and 5 pairs of the same shirts with slightly different colors, some of the same. That's just me. I don't like to think about getting dressed, so that's how I live.
That's why I wear t-shirts and jeans.
Flannel in Texas in summer, lol. Yeah, this one's really thin. It's not like a heavyweight winter flannel.
No Neck 4 says, what about cheat mods, question mark? What do you mean, what about cheat mods? Are you asking, are we doing anything about it? Or are you asking if we know of any?
Ooh. Monty says he got his IS-3A shirt. That's cool.
Ooh, nice. Einstein also did that with his clothes.
Oh, cool. So I'm basically Einstein and Steve Jobs rolled into one.
Nice.
That's what we learned here today.
I'm really proud of you.
I'm proud of me too.
What are you? You didn't pen that Leo twice.
Nope. I did track him once though.
No. Oh no.
Wait, good job shooting that car.
You're welcome.
That car was really dangerous to us.
Yeah, I mean it was blocking our vision. We can't shoot past it.
I'm glad that you killed it because now I don't have to worry about it. Oh, that Leo's dead.
He's super dead. Go for it.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Carnarvon took the shot.
You're super dead.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Oh, no. I tried.
I'm going to be retreating out because I'm too low to fight.
Yeah, and there's a WZ behind us, actually. He's coming up on us. He's going to block our exit path.
He's scared.
Oh, gosh. Oh, no. That hurt. That hurt me. More than it hurt him. Oh, no!
Oh, come on, tank. Come on. Hit where I aim for once.
Okay, so the Carnarvon is coming up, and I have 2 tanks next to me who are scary, so I may or may not need a little help.
Good news, I just tracked the Leo for the 3rd time.
Good job. Nice. I'm proud of you. Can we get this Carnarvon?
I'm shooting the IS-2. Okay, we'll try and shoot the Carnarvon.
He's literally up the rear of my tank, so
yep.
I didn't like that. And I'm on fire.
I have shot him.
No! Alright, I'm dead.
But I'm gonna die shortly after you. Yeah.
No worries. We'll hopefully...
Oh, E25's got me. I'm dead. Yeah.
Oh no!
We just have no presence in the middle here, so we're getting free farm from the guys on their side of the river. Up there and there.
I'm going back to garage.
That's going to be a loss
why,
for us.
hello there, TragicLoss and CabbageMechanic. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you guys on Saturday. I'm working that special ammo rework article, by the way. So I actually, I've been theory crafting, and so I was talking with 13 Disciple about my theory craft on what I would like to see in terms of a rework for ammo. Just overall. So, thank you, 13 Disciple. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great to meet you, 13. Thanks for coming out. We saw 13 Disciple at the Aquino show last weekend. Kurt on Facebook asked, why is the King Tiger better than the Tiger 2, or is there a real buff coming with the Tiger 2? I mean, it's better for its tier. Yeah. It's not better, but it is a tier lower. I would agree that it is better for its tier. As far as whether we'll see a buff coming to the Tiger 2, we have already confirmed several times since the holidays last year that the E100 will be getting buffed, and when the E100 gets buffed, it's very likely that the entire line will see some changes. So, don't know when that's happening, but it will happen.
No Next says, doing anything about cheat mods? All the time. We're consistently upkeeping and making sure people are getting banned if they're using
on June 1st,
mods.
We just rolled out a new version of the Fair Play policy that specifically banned a few more mods, and we'll have another wave of Fair Play bans coming in the near future. So yeah, we've been banning people. We've been banning cheaters pretty regularly lately, friend.
I'll play tier 5.
13 Disciple Audakino, did you get the staff to record the antenna physics to bring forth the dev team? We did have a long discussion about antenna physics. Are you playing the T67?
Yeah.
Gross.
You guys should just make every tank do the same damage with the same penetration.
Yeah,
it's a genius
This should also be the same size and have the same hit points.
I don't know if you guys were around during April Fool's like 2015 or something like. I think it was like 2014, 2015 when we had the Carl tank. That was essentially that. So, let's see. I would like to see a balanced matchmaker. You guys can't tell me you don't see 0-15 and 15-5 steamroll matches. Honestly, 15-5 is actually very common, and there's actually a reason for that.
We do see those.
Yeah, we do. 15-0 is definitely a little bit more rare, but those ones...
Actually, I had one yesterday. It was pretty brutal.
But no, essentially, there's not really a way to keep those from happening at all. Like, it's literally mathematical and statistics that go into why those happen.
We definitely would like to see a reduction
3,
in them.
2, 1, go.
But as we've talked about on the stream several times, in games with longer time to kill, such as World of Tanks, versus a game like, say, Call of Duty, where you can destroy an enemy immediately, the rate of losing people on your side increases the rate of killing others.
Yeah, it's the snowball effect.
Basically, if one team goes up 3-0, that team is mathematically very likely to continue steamrolling simply because they have 15 guns left, the other team has 12 guns left, and everybody's a hit point pool that has to be reduced chunk by chunk to 0.
Yeah.
So to some extent, like a 15-7 is a pretty typical game, and if we're not ranging too far outside of that range to get to a 15-4.
Essentially, even in Clan Wars, you see 15-0 or 15-5 is one of the most common results of a game.
It happens very frequently because once one team gets an advantage and starts to exploit it, that's what opens that hole. So, and certainly if you see like Yujo versus Mehu, like that's a pretty evenly matched.
So 13 Disciple even brings up the term you're looking for is Lanchester's square law.
Yes.
That is the law I was looking for.
And then there's the 15-0 steamrolls. Yeah, those are pretty rare. They do happen.
Those ones are a bit more rare, and those ones definitely will be the ones that you kind of want to watch out for. So.
Cody says, but it's easier to say that matchmaking is rigged against you.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that a lot of the people who bring up the snowball game comment they won't mention wins or losses. They just mention the results. And I do understand. It's close games are a lot more fun than 15-3 steamrolls for sure. So I totally understand why people want that. Our devs do keep an eye on how often those kind of games happen and what they can do to reduce them. But random battles is not going to have like pure skill-based matchmaker, and it probably wouldn't be that fun if it did.
For a good player, 3 to 4 kills is the minimum? What? Oh no! Oh no!
They really want.
Oh, that hurt.
Yeah.
I've been using want numbers, and I find that more games get into the 15 to 8 area. I often have close games than blowouts, says Cryptic Shock. See, there you go. So, I mean, yeah. Cabbage, well said, perfectly put. Even if they did skill-based MM, you will still experience matches where players rush in or just die within the first minute, leaving your team at 12-15. You'll still have the snowball effect and experience similar losses to what you experience now. Yeah. So, like, you can even look at it in ranked. Like, adding skill-based matchmaker does not change anything in terms of how quickly things snowball.
Don't get me wrong, there are definitely games where one team gets really lucky and gets stacked.
Yeah.
But remember that the matchmaker is working with the same player pool, so just by random selection, more times than not, there's going to be a pretty equal skill distribution between the teams.
And statistically speaking, you're going to essentially get the same stacked games where sometimes you'll get more unicums on your team,
which
the
by
other
the way,
team won't.
is also why everyone's win rate trends around 48 to 50%.
Yeah.
For the same reason. It's the law of averages.
You need to be really good or really bad to genuinely affect your win rate to be below 48 and above about 53%, I believe.
You have to be incredible to get above 53%, for sure.
Yeah. Do we want to swap to your view?
C. Carpenter says Tragic is dead, or Cabbage is dead. I'm not dead. Tragic is dead.
Yeah. Oops. Oh, we were on my screen already. Matchmaker does not calculate the multitude of purple platoons. I mean, you're right. Please change the XP you get per kill in ranked. A noob with no damage and 4 kills got more XP than me with 4k damage, and all he did was sit and wait for tanks to be one shot. Honestly, it really depends.
I mean, NA server doesn't have ranked right now.
Yeah, so one of the things that really changes the amount of XP that you get in a game is whether or not you're spotting your own targets. If you are a TD and you're sitting in the back and you're getting 4k damage for shooting other tanks, you're going to get less XP, mostly because you're not spotting your own targets. So make sure, especially if the other person was a light tank, they're probably shooting their own targets and doing spotting damage. So please make sure that you know what the actual XP reasoning is. So let's see. Yeah, I always wondered why it seems 80% of players have a sub 50% win rate. You would think half the players would be over and half under, but that's not true.
Objectively,
it's a bell curve.
Objectively, 48% is the average because you have draws.
Do they still have plans to bring more detailed breakdown of the end of battle screen to standard battles like it is in ranked? Honestly, Cody, that's probably a good platform to test that kind of stuff, so I couldn't see why we might not see it in standard battles. You can probably presume. Let's see. My stats are so good, bro. I'm like top 5 worldwide. Nice, Wrecker. Nice. Playing in with good players in a platoon helps you and you can communicate. Yes, it does.
Sure, that's true. Yeah.
How about us upcoming players stuck at bottom tiers and at the mercy of higher tier tanks? I like to think I'm around average for my tanks in actual battles. Pretty fair, pretty fair. You need to be able to have a huge impact on the game throughout the battle. True. Like, I would actually recommend watching Skill for 2.
But he's playing the NA server.
Yeah,
today.
he's actually playing the NA server, and so if you go watch him, the last battle that, honestly, all of us in the community team were watching, but essentially he was playing an EBR, and oh my goodness, he is insane in tanks, so.
Oh, what did I get spotted by?
Montague, I would say I don't know. Mostly because there's no real way of us being able to tell if that would happen or not. He was asking about the gold type 59 possibly being offered for everybody. Dunno. Crew books will solve some lower tier issues if Wargaming ever got rid of the 50% and 70% crews. I mean, we've actually talked about this. Crews are getting a rework at some point. I believe the devs said some point this year?
No, not this year.
No, not this year. Okay, well. Cabbage uses brain.exe and therefore is a cheater. Yeah, right?
What did I use?
Mad Dog CB says...
Usually I don't. I'm having a decent game here, but... although you saw me miss like 9 shots on that Churchill, at least one of those should have connected.
John Moreau says, it was nice to see you at this weekend at Ontario's Regimental Museum.
Oh,
good
nice
to see
seeing you too. Hope you had a good time.
Skills for 2. Skill for LTU. So
on Twitch. So he's on Facebook. So yeah, Skill is a Polish, right? It's Polish?
No, he's a Lithuanian.
Sorry, Lithuanian, my bad. He's a Lithuanian Twitch streamer who is very popular, especially in EU. But he's kind of notorious for 3-marking every vehicle in the game on every server. And he started to work on the NA server.
Yeah, Loreober 55-6 says, concerning platoons at beginning at the game countdown, if you die and leave the battle and the platoon in garage, do you still get credit XP? Bonus?
Yes. As long as you enter the game in a platoon or finish the game in a platoon.
They're
I see
talking
what you're
about
asking.
the dynamic platoons.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think so because it's calculated.
Yeah.
It's calculated when the post game count up is done. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it does.
ZYRYZ says, please stop balancing the game.
Nope, not gonna do it. We're gonna keep
they
balancing.
put quotations around balancing.
Yeah. We're gonna keep balancing the game. We have a live dev team. It's important to keep updating the game, to keep the meta evolving and solve problems. We're not gonna stop balancing the game. Sorry.
Can y'all give the AMX 40 an autoloader? Wrecker?
Guys, if we stop balancing the game, it would become stale pretty quick. So, no. Not going to change.
Is it possible to remove win rate from the game and only see PR as your skill? No, because there are lots of people who like to track their stats, and I feel like removing things from stat tracking would just make them angry, so...
I really don't want to push into this T-67. I know he's around here somewhere. He's always up there somewhere. Oh,
let's see.
Well, we gotta go try and push their cap before we run out of time on this map here.
Rework the IKV-90B, please, please, please.
Oh no, KV1!
What's wrong with it?
Oh no. Oh no.
Ozarek says, I like to track my stats to help me see where I can improve. See?
Yeah, that really should be how you use stats. To benchmark yourself and help yourself improve.
Yeah.
If your stats look like this on like the average experience and damage, you're a good player. I don't care what the actual numbers say. If you're constantly improving, that is what good players do. You learn and improve. There we go. And that's. Oh, I'm gonna die. I should have popped this.
In regards to Artie, are there any plans to adjust Artie missions to the now nerfed Artie?
We've talked about this a bunch, guys. We're going to watch the completion stats, and if they change significantly, the missions will change. We're a little skeptical that they're going to change that much, to be honest.
Will decals ever be available for lower tiers? Possibly at some point. I do know that we're trying to essentially spread the availability of customizations to all tiers, so... Darth Lug, we've talked about NA ranked compensation. We don't have any updates, unfortunately.
It's something we're working on every day, but we're hoping to have news any day now, but not sure when it's going to happen.
Captain Napalm, I did just answer your question, so I'm going to skip over it. How about some premium arties, says Waisha Harmon.
It's up to the T-67. Can you win?
Honestly, it's not, for one, it's not really up to us to be like yes or no to a premium artillery.
Come on, 3-mark. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not rooting for this guy. He's got a 3-mark T-67.
But,
gross.
Essentially, at this point in time, I don't see us adding any premium artillery. We haven't done so in years, and the only two that we have are, like, the Sexton and the Lef, so. Oh, that guy shot. What?
Yep. Free win here for the T-67. Debated out the shot.
Do you know what the Saturday tank challenge will be? Not currently, actually.
Showdown Saturday? No, I don't know what it is going
to be. Propler says, have you driven the IKV-90B lately? Me personally, no. If you implement the increased alpha on AP rounds and HP of every tank, will stats on every tank... like average damage get reset. Honestly, at this point in time, there's nothing else we can say about the Sandbox server because it's so far, it's not even close to being implemented, and even on top of that, it's not necessarily something that we're going to implement. And so, Sandbox is literally just testing. We'll find out what changes will need to be made if and when Sandbox completes all of the rounds of testing.
So, Cryptic, Wakai Ben, and Ort all popped in on Twitch and informed us that the VK3601H is the weak showdown tank, and For Free promptly said, really? That one?
Let's see, there's a second Sandbox iteration. Forget about the first one.
Yeah. I mean, the first one's a benchmark. The second
one
will be coming soon, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. No rooting for
D-Jackson says, lol, not rooting. Yeah, let's look at how many games that guy has in that vehicle.
Oh, man.
You know, we didn't want to shame anyone, but Yeah, 789 games in the T67.
Okay, but he also has 1,410 in that.
I can't endorse this,
E25.
guys. I can't endorse this. I'm not. I don't.
Anyways, let's
don't
go
approve.
ahead and choose another tank to play. Let's I'm gonna play.
Ooh, Cody's got some food
8.
questions.
All right, tier 8.
James24K says, "Why is Wargaming buffing everything instead of nerfing premium ammo?" I've talked about this a lot as well, because a lot of the other changes are stuff that we've talked about trying out for a long time. Guys, we nerfed premium ammo in Blitz. It's the same lawyers, same company. There's no reason we can't do it in PC on that front. It's totally doable. We've done it in another game. We're making the changes on the Sandbox, or we're trying out the changes on the Sandbox because we've been wanting to look into larger changes like that for a long time.
Will the second Sandbox be open to everyone again? Honestly, I would recommend that you apply for the Sandbox. I'm guessing that it'll be application again, but I believe that everybody who has had previous Sandbox server access... Ooh. That was a watermelon burp. We'll have access to this one. So, and then Cody Men says, best type of barbecue, beef or pork, wet versus dry. Man, beef and dry.
Texas brisket, of course.
No, beef and wet.
LaRue asked if we've been to Franklin's. Not yet. I'm hoping to go soon, though, actually.
All right, get ready.
I think this is going to be our last battle today, too, guys.
2, 1, go. When is the drop? When is the patch dropping for NA?
Tonight.
Tonight?
Wee hours.
Early in the morning. Assume something like 3-ish
Probably
a.m.
by the time you're ready to play tomorrow, unless you're a guy who's up at like 5 a.m. playing. Server will probably be down if you're trying to get up at 5 a.m. to play, but by the time you log in tomorrow, for most people,
essentially sleep in tonight. So
Luru also before that asked if the stars at night were big and bright in the heart of Texas, and they are. You got to get a little bit outside of Austin to see them.
So how do you know if your application to Sandbox is accepted? Essentially, if you go back to the site that shows you your to apply for the Sandbox, if you go to it and it shows you instructions, I actually do have a post up on Reddit about this.
Yeah.
Essentially, if it shows you instructions to download it, you have been accepted into the Sandbox. Here, let me post that thread for you guys.
Michael on Facebook asks, is the 100 getting its buff in this update? Nope. The 2 lines being buffed in this update are the Leopard 1 line and the STB 1 line.
Has Wargaming thought about giving blueprints for removed tanks and clan reward tanks? I don't think we have, but in terms of those tanks, they are reward tanks, and I believe that we should leave them as reward tanks because it takes skill and a lot of effort and time to be able to achieve them. And I feel like
a little bit of luck.
Personally, I feel like it would be very unfair to make it so such a high skill requirement tank would be available for everyone. I can see why you would like them, but, you know, that's my personal opinion. I feel like they should be for people who can achieve them, so. When is the MX-30B getting its buff / rebalance is what I'm going to add in there.
We don't know at this time. It may very well be the next patch because we already started work on it. But we haven't gotten any updates on what's going to be worked on after 1.5.1. We should be talking about that fairly soon after the next patch releases, though. So hopefully we'll have some updates for you on that one soon. I'm going to repair that gas tank so my next shot doesn't catch me on fire. I am firing Win-8 rounds, or WN8 rounds, because I'm playing the Chrysler, nice. And it's kind of just a fact of life on the Chrysler. You shoot premium rounds, it's what you do. Oh, okay, this mutant is pushing me hard.
I love seeing Wargaming buffing tanks like the Leopard 1 and STB 1, but will they ever nerf tanks that are still too strong, like the Object 430? So we've actually talked about some of the tanks that their rebalance has been delayed, so tanks like the Object 430, yes, that was delayed. We are still working on that, essentially. It was not cancelled, it will be rebalanced. So fear not, fret not, you will see that happen at some point.
Oh, that was a terrible shot.
This 4202 is just afraid of me. Which which is kind of funny.
Tight brawl in here with the mutant. Ugh. We're getting dirty.
Can the Stug 4 be buffed or moved down a tier? I mean, unfortunately, we're not devs, so we can't tell. We can't say anything for sure.
No, the Stug's not getting moved.
I don't.
Oh, Cruiser.
They're asking if it could.
No. if there's going to be that big of a change, you'll hear about it time.
Hodor says, "Not my 430U," in all caps, I think. That's what it was.
Yeah. So really, this is probably another case of Cabbage didn't look at his mini map.
Screen if you want to,
yeah, because we have a 50 TP that's in the east instead of fighting in city with me.
What? Yeah, because honestly, if you win this side, so it's hard to come back if you win city and you lose the side. But if you get the other way around and you win this side,
but
it's
I think
easier to go back to base.
Could have used your help.
Yeah, probably, but hopefully
also I don't know
we'll
if that's totally
this.
true.
You haven't scrolled down. Oh wait, yes you have. Rails wins.
The Stug 3 is great, the Stug 4 is iffy, yeah.
You went city, that's the problem, says Cody.
Okay,
I'm in the right there.
Alright, well, I'm the failure. I think that we should have won city. I did fine. The Stug 4 could use a little love, I agree with that. I don't think it's going to change tier, though. What is the logical explanation about not nerfing the T-67 and buffing to 121? I would say that we don't have a logical explanation because it's likely that both of those tanks will change in the future. So, nope. Patton says you can win city and still lose. Okay, I'm wrong. Never go city ever. Just let the heavy tanks flood your base and it'll be fine.
Oh, that's him. Okay.
When is the AMX 30B buff coming out? I prefer... again, we don't have any news on that, guys. Probably sooner than later because we've already done some work on it, but we'll see. Hopefully we'll have some super test or common test news for you guys after 1.5.1 drops tomorrow.
When is the M41 Bulldog getting some love? Question mark. It says RSH 427R. I don't know.
Yeah, don't have any news on M41 changes.
I think it's a pretty solid
You got
tank,
the answer
honestly.
for any specific tank that we don't mention, guys, is going to be... It'll either happen in the future or we don't have any news. So, it's always going to be the answer. If we know about changes to a tank, we'll talk about them.
Yeah. Ouch.
Will the Cruiser 4 ever get the 3.7-inch howitzer like it had in real life? Not that I'm aware of. It could change.
Oh.
Mad Dog CB, with the exception of Empire's Border, you need to cover all flanks or you run the risk of losing.
I'm kind of boned here, so just FYI.
So just so you guys know, we are losing this game to a team that won city, and we won tracks. So
it's because you died.
Whoa!
Well, I don't know where that shot went, honestly.
Cabbage, when will the Churchill ARV be added? Oh man, I hope as soon as possible. That'd be great.
Will the 907 and the Chieftain see a nerf? We don't know.
Will the next update give us antenna physics, and why not?
I wish.
I like how he immediately launched to the why not. He just wants to be mad about it right now.
Any fix for ice rocks? I do know that the devs are working on some of the physics. Hopefully that'll definitely let... hopefully that will allow wheeled vehicles to be a little bit less launchy when they die, and will make rocks a little bit less icy. So, and then I'm pretty sure you want to read that comment, so...
Yeah. Warchild asked, do you not let Domo Sapien live stream anymore because he's the only player in North America who's been killed by an AFK?
How? Did he ram someone?
He rammed an AFK and died.
Oh my gosh.
Cabbage, I got past the Panther 2 after threatening to microwave my body parts for a buff. Are you proud of me? The E50 is tasty.
Oh, goodness.
I am proud of you. Enjoy the E50. Once you get that thing fully upgraded, it's the reward that you've been waiting for. Although I do think that the Panther 1 and the tank before it are actually okay. The Panther 2 is a bit ugh. But the E50 is magnificent. I would revel in that for a long time.
Yeah.
Will World of Tanks add an IQ test? No.
No. no. I said KV2 artillery needs to be added. Oh, Lord.
KV2 is already artillery.
Yeah.
So we have some discussion about soap rocks. The developers have discussed some updates to the rocks. We don't have anything in the pipe to talk about, but I've heard it discussed, so hopefully we'll see some changes.
Any thoughts about balancing teams? So we did talk about this earlier. It seems like more often one team gets stacked with much better players versus a team full of sub 45 percenters who have no clue in playing higher tier tanks. Essentially, Matchmaker is how Matchmaker is. You're going to have the same results whether you have quote-unquote balanced teams or not. If you look at things like Clan Wars or ranked battles, you will see that 15-5 in terms of deaths and 15-7 to 8 is generally the amount, or generally what you'll see at the end results, if that makes sense. This is due to Lanchester's square law. So the more guns that you have, on top of what guns that the enemy does not have, you are more likely to win, and it is more likely to accelerate from the first few deaths.
So we did have a... oh, I lost it.
Oh, and no dino suit, because that would be absolute
so
heck.
Hot in here.
Absolute heck in here.
Yeah. So Board Sites asked, will your company add Modern Tanks sequel? That'd be cool, wouldn't it? No news on anything like that so far. But, you know, we're always trying to add new content to the game, so...
Any news on the T-22 medium getting in the Bond shop? No.
No, can't talk... We honestly don't even know. To be not even can't talk about it, not sure.
Yeah.
Any news on the Bond shop? Nope. We'll let you guys know when we know, just for sure.
Yeah. It is in the game, it just doesn't have any vehicles in it.
Wear the dino suit and tweak the color to red.
Oh, no. Nah, I'm already red because of sunburns and red because this room is really hot.
So somebody said that I said we were going to lose and then we promptly started winning. We'll see if we pull it out. This Progetto should have the mobility advantage. I'm not sure how many hit points the two TDs
I'm
that
just
are left
afraid
have.
this STRV is going to pop out of nowhere and kill the Progetto.
I like what the Progetto is doing, though.
Yeah.
I like this fold over and...
Tragic, when will you get Cabbage a dino suit so you can do a dual dino suit stream?
I have a...
oh, Steve.
Your dino
issues...
suit, I have a red panda.
Oh, no.
I have a red panda suit. That's
Nice.
the same. Maybe we'll do a animal pajama stream.
So Steve is talking about getting 300 ping. I honestly would use a ping plotter and figure out where you're losing the connection, so...
Record says daily shout out to my fellow poodle mains. Hey, it's summer. Maybe might be time for another poodle pool party.
No.
Oh, this is scary. What is the black dog doing?
I don't know. He's just kind of rocking back and forth.
He's helping.
Add troop placements.
He's not helping.
We wouldn't add troop placements because that would knock our game out of the PG-13 range.
It's an interesting idea, but there is the rating issue to talk about, and also it'd be a pretty radical shift to the game as it exists. I mean, we have added wheel vehicles recently, which is already another radical shift, but they're still vehicles. Adding infantry emplacements and stuff would be a whole other thing.
Am I wrong, or did we have horns years back? I
Ships
believe
has
there
horns.
was, but they got removed a while
We should
back.
have horns.
Maybe you already talked about this, but how will crew books work in regards to training your crews? Thank you for replying. So essentially, they're kind of like blueprints, but essentially, when you use them, if they're... Here, I'll bring up the article, actually. Tanks. Let me find the article. You answer some questions, and then we'll...
So this is going to be our last game, guys. We're taking off a bit early today. Still trying to catch up. I have so much cleaning to do at home after being out all weekend. We will be back Thursday.
Okay.
And we'll have a full-length stream Thursday going over all the changes that came out in the patch. We'll show off some STB and Leopard gameplay for you.
Do you want to swap to my screen real quick?
Sure.
So here, I'll talk about crew books real quick. Oh, let me do that. So essentially, in terms of how crew books work, so you have different levels of crew training booklets. So you have training booklet, you have training guide, and training manual. So any of these ones will train your entire crew. There is a specific one that will train only one, and that is the personal training manual. The personal training manual will give you 850,000 crew XP for that specific crew member. Otherwise, training booklets, training guides, and training manuals will only be for your entire crew. So if you go to this link specifically and click back and forth, you can kind of read how to get them. So this one is a reward for merit. This one is also available for a reward for merit. Training manuals you can get as an in-game event reward, and same with personal training manuals. So in terms of how they work, you can use them on your crew. So training booklets will give you 20,000 XP and will get you about 50% of the way through your first skill or perk. In terms of the training guide, if you use one, you will be about 84% of the way through your first skill. For the third one, you will be about 50% of the way through your second skill, so you can get your first skill and then you can start training halfway through your next skill. And that's how much you'll get. Otherwise, personal training manuals, I believe, if we increase to about 850,000. So in terms, if you use a personal training manual, which is only for one crew member instead of your entire crew, you will be able to get about 71% of the way through your third skill. So you'll get 1, 2, and 71% through to the next, to your third skill. So that's essentially all you'll see. That's how far you'll get through. Otherwise, I believe we're about to call it quits.
Last question we'll answer. Larry on Facebook wanted to know if we are still working towards a unified battlefield with all 3 game platforms. We are not. That was a pipe dream at one point in the game development, I believe, but shortly after Planes launched, that was still sort of the plan. But the game's 3 completely different dev teams. They grew in their own directions, and it's not possible anymore, and there's really no way to do it in a satisfying fashion. So each game's going to focus on itself, and I think we're going to be the better for it. But it's possible that, multidisciplinary modes might be added in the future. Or we'll see what happens in the future. World of Tanks is going to be around a long time, and we obviously got to keep things fresh. We're going to keep working on new types of content to bring you guys. And we're really excited to share with you. So that is going to be it for us. Thanks for coming out. Do you have any last words? She beat me. That is my thing. Well, let's raid Cody on Twitch. Hang out with us if you're on Twitch. We're going to raid Cody Menz.
I'm going to press the raid button in about 2 seconds.
In about 2 seconds.
I don't think I have any last words, so we'll see you guys later.
See you guys Thursday.
Bye.